We're going to talk about how MST negates now. Of course, we have to talk about how MST negates. Today, big dogs, we're going to be talking about the new Magnifistorm monsters. I'm just going to go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and jump on in, guys. It's going to be really, really fun. I'm excited about them. MST finally negates. So here we are. Let me actually correct this. Because if I correct this, you guys can see more of it and you know, stuff like that. Boom. That looks so much better because now you guys can read along. So I kind of skimmed over the Magnifistorm cards, mainly because I like giving you guys my first thoughts, my first impression. If you guys like it that way, let me know. Or if you guys want me to actually read the cards, digest them, and then go ahead. I don't like it that way, just because, like, you know, you get my first impression, and then we kind of figure out things along the way. But a mystical space Typhoon deck. Crazy, guys. All of these cards are based off of the quick play spell card Mystical Space Typhoon. You said the art is a massive L, like Carter 6? Nah, I actually think the art's okay. You know what? This reminds me of the Peacock deck. If I remember correctly, there's like a Peacock deck. This reminds me of this reminds me of Spirit Monsters. This reminds me of Hunder Monsters. Okay, you know what? I will say that their art looks like art of other archetypes, but maybe that's the point. All right, so this deck seems to be a deck consisting of wind monsters, and let's go ahead and read the effects. Magnifistorm Magilla. Now, you can only special summon this card's effect once per turn. You can only use the second effect. I know that all of these cards say if MST is in your graveyard, or your opponent controls no spell or trap cards, you can special summon this card from your hand. So we're going to skip over that effect, right? Is the wind statue legal? Hecky nah. All right. If a Magnifistorm's quick play spell card or a Mystical Space Typhoon is activated, you can special summon a Magnifistorm monster from your deck with a different name for the monsters you control, but it locks you into wind monsters. That's interesting. Okay, so I hate that it locks you into wind monsters for the rest of the turn. I think that Yu-Gi-Oh cards need to start hard locking and giving good effects, okay? I genuinely do. But that's here nor there, right? I think this card's really good. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Mainly because you have to have this card and a Mystical Space Typhoon or Magnifistorm. Keep in mind, you can Mystical Space Typhoon yourself, but you can't activate Mystical Space Typhoon to destroy Mystical Space Typhoon. Yo, it's Ernesto in the house. It's still Mr. Brown to you, okay? What up, Ernesto? Next is, let me finish this and we'll talk in a second, all right? Next is Magnifistorm Heirdom. This card says, of course, the same first effect. If it's normal summon or special summon, you can add one Magnifistorm monster or one Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck to your hand. I like this card a little bit more, but it also means that this card plus a Magnifistorm spell or trap card summons out this card, then gets you an MST or a Magnifistorm spell or trap card, and they're both level 3 monsters. So you can exceed summon and stuff like that with it. Right? So I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10 as well. I think this is probably the better starter, but it only gets you a search. Or this can add this. And then you can summon this. Nope. Yeah, nah. I'm not seeing it just yet, but it's not that bad. Right? Next is Soon, which is another level 3 monster. If this card is normal summon or spell summon, you can add one Magnifistorm spell or trap card or Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck to your hand. I wouldn't say redundant because this card already does that, but it might be good to have access to be able to add, you know, the spell or trap card. Oh no, this adds a monster or Mystical Space Typhoon. I apologize. This is the card that adds the spell or trap card. So no, this is still pretty good. Not redundant, really, really good. I'm gonna give this one a 6 out of 10. So far, we are getting like the very basis of what this Yu-Gi-Oh strategy does. But we don't have anything that says, hey, like, I'm good, right? I'm a straight A student. It's crazy, Ernesto. We know your grades. Do not make me dox your grades out on here. All right, but yeah, so far, Solid cards, not necessarily anything to be like, whoa about, but solid. If it came out in like 2013, these cards would be insane. Magnifistorm Crothea. Of course, it has the same effect of being able to summon itself. Oh, wait, hold on. If a quick play spell card is activated, you can summon this card from your hand. That's totally different. Apologies. That's actually way different. That's, wow. If a quick play spell card is activated, and that's a trigger, so you can summon this card from your hand to your opponent's side, of like, during your opponent's turn. Yeah, this is an ignition, so you can only summon it during your turn. This is an ignition. Yep. Or I'm sorry, these aren't ignitions. These are not ignition effects. I am so sorry. These are just requirements to summon. They're not quick effects, so you can just summon. This card is a trigger effect. And how we know it's a trigger effect, it says if a quick play spell card is activated, you can spell summon this card from your hand, which means, boom, quick play, boom, gets summoned. All right. Then if it's summoned, you can add one Magnifistorm card or one Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And it locks you into wind monsters. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while your opponent controls no spell or trap cards. This isn't, like, these cards aren't bad. But nothing screams really good at this point in time. This is a 5 out of 10. I like that it's a quick effect, but I don't really like much else about it. All right, here's the level 9. So maybe this deck is going to be based around the 3, 6, and 9 Exceed summoning, potentially. The 9 says, if a quick play is activated, you can special summon it to the side of the field. Keep in mind, it is a trigger effect. When your opponent activates a monster effect while you have MST in your graveyard, you can negate that effect. Then if you have 2 or more Mystical Space Typhoons in your graveyard, you can destroy that monster. That's a lot better, but 0 attack. If MST is in your graveyard while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon it. Holy, no, this card's kind of crazy. Look, this card's actually pretty good. I'm going to give it a 6.5, 7-ish. This card's good. I wish it actually had attack so you can like do things with it. But a card that can summon itself on your opponent's side of the field, negate effects for having MST in your graveyard, destroy it if you have 2, and then summon itself from the graveyard? Oh, I'm sorry. If you activate MST while it's in the graveyard, no, this card's good. It doesn't even banish itself when it leaves the field. This one's actually good. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. This is what I expected them all to be like. Let me guess. This one's a 12 or another 9. Magnificent Great Pyre Phoenix. Again, so it looks like the little effects are just regular summon conditions that you can summon themselves. The big monsters seem to be trigger effects, and if a quick play spell card is activated, you summon these cards. And then if a quick play spell card is activated again, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls and shuffle them into the deck. Wow. All right, yeah, this card's crazy. This is a 8. This is a 7. I'm still going to give it a 7 because it still requires quick plays, right? But no, this card's actually, this one's good. And then, of course, if MST is activated while it's in your graveyard, you can summon it. 3,000 attack. I want to give this card an 8. 3,000 attack, gets rid of opponent's cards, puts them into the deck, which is huge. And can summon itself off of quick plays. This card's sick. You said it's flu support? You can't special summon if you activate Fluiflex, right? Please tell me that that's true. Yeah. Ernesto, I'll get to you in a second. Next is Stanza Tribute. Hopefully these quick play spell cards are really good. Add 1 level 4 or lower Magnifistorm from your deck to your hand. Or add a Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck to the graveyard to your hand. And if you have Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard, oh, they have to be Mystical Space Typhoon. That's so unfortunate. These cards can't start without having Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard. That's unlucky. Yeah, this card's a 6 out of 10 because, like, adding these cards do nothing because you have to normal summon them. They're not like add them to your hand and then you can summon this one off of the spell card. Like, yeah, this, it's okay. It's not a bad card. 5 or 6 out of 10. Next is Summoning Technique. Send 1 Magnifistorm monster from your deck to the graveyard, which allows you to be able to activate quick play spell cards to get these guys to your field, which don't go to the graveyard, or which go to the graveyard after this, removed from the field. Then add one Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If this card is destroyed by Mystical Space Typhoon, you can set this card. Oh, they all have that effect. Good. Good. So it allows you, if you draw these cards alongside a Mystical Space Typhoon, you can Typhoon yourself to get these cards going and to get your cards started. So, all right. It turns MST into a graveyard-reliant brick. Mystical Space Typhoon, I don't think I'd ever call it a brick, right? Going second, it is spell and trap removal. Going first, you now have a way, you have cards to destroy to reset themselves. The only downside is that you have to have MST plus these cards. Right? I don't know if I call it a brick. I think that's a little much. Draw 2 cards, then discard one Magnifistorm or quick play spell card. Yep, that's what we needed. That's exactly what we needed. Yeah, this deck is kind of cool. I don't think it's great. I think it's cool. And then the other ones are still the same. Add a Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck or graveyard. If it's destroyed, you can set it. So you have 3, 6, 9 plus 3 MST. You're going to have quite a bit of times to be able to MST your own cards. And then once per turn, you can target 3 quick play spell cards, including a magnificent spell card. You get to shuffle them into the deck and draw 1 card. When monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense for the rest of the turn. Okay. Then when a Mystical Space Typhoon is activated, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and negate its effects. MST negates, guys. Then, of course, the last effect, if it's destroyed, you get to reset it. I think that this is going to be a fun Yu-Gi-Oh deck. I don't think it'll be the best of the best. I think it will be pretty freaking cool to play around with. Maybe it'll get combined with another Ren archetype, maybe like Speedroids or something. But one thing I've always said about quick plays is that they are the strongest cards in the game. They're very, very easy to abuse, and they can become a problem when used correctly. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Can't wait to see what you have to say.